The cold ocean waves crashed softly against the wooden docks of a small fishing town in Maine, USA. Seagulls flew across the cloudy morning sky as fishermen prepared their boats for another long day at sea. Among them was a kind-hearted fisherman named Ethan Brooks. Ethan was not rich. He lived alone in a tiny seaside cabin with his old golden retriever, Rusty. Every morning before sunrise, Ethan would sail into the Atlantic Ocean to catch fish and earn enough money to survive. Even though life was hard, Ethan had a gentle heart. He respected the ocean and every creature living in it. Some fishermen in the town laughed at him. "Fish are money, Ethan," they would say. "You care too much about animals." But Ethan always smiled and replied, "The ocean gives us life. We should protect it." One chilly autumn morning, Ethan sailed farther than usual. Thick gray clouds covered the sky, and the sea felt strangely quiet. As he pulled in one of his heavy fishing nets, he suddenly heard splashing nearby. "Wait, what's that?" Ethan whispered. Not far from the boat, something silver and smooth struggled violently in the water. A dolphin. Its tail was tightly tangled in an abandoned fishing net floating beneath the surface. The poor animal thrashed desperately, trying to escape, but the ropes only tightened around its body. Ethan quickly shut off the engine. "Oh no, easy there, buddy," he said softly. The dolphin let out frightened clicking sounds as it struggled for air. Ethan grabbed a knife and carefully leaned over the edge of the boat. The waves rocked violently beneath him. The dolphin's eyes were filled with fear. "It's okay," Ethan whispered. "I'm gonna help you." Slowly and carefully, Ethan cut through the thick ropes. The dolphin panicked at first, splashing water everywhere, but Ethan remained calm. After several tense minutes, the final rope snapped free. The dolphin floated still for a moment. Then suddenly, it leaped out of the water in a beautiful silver arc. Splash! Ethan laughed with relief. "You're free." The dolphin circled around the boat twice, almost as if it were thanking him. Then it disappeared into the deep blue sea. Ethan smiled warmly and continued fishing. But something strange happened after that day. Every morning when Ethan sailed into the ocean, the same dolphin appeared beside his boat. It swam playfully through the waves, jumping and spinning beside him. "Well, look who's here again," Ethan laughed. Soon the lonely fisherman and the dolphin became unlikely friends. Ethan named the dolphin Luna because of the pale moon-shaped mark near its fin. Whenever Ethan felt sad or tired, Luna would appear beside the boat, splashing water happily. Sometimes Luna even guided schools of fish toward Ethan's nets. Because of this, Ethan's fishing trips became more successful. Other fishermen noticed. How does Ethan always find fish? They wondered. One man named Carl became jealous. "There's something strange going on," Carl muttered angrily. One evening at the dock, Carl followed Ethan secretly and saw Luna swimming beside the boat. "A dolphin?" Carl scoffed. "That animal's helping him." The next morning, Carl and a few greedy fishermen sailed out before sunrise. "If we catch that dolphin," Carl said, "tourists will pay thousands to see it." They prepared giant nets and metal cages. Far away in the open sea, Ethan was fishing peacefully when Luna suddenly began acting strangely. The dolphin clicked loudly and splashed nervously. "What's wrong, girl?" Ethan asked. Then he noticed another boat speeding toward them. Carl's boat. Large nets spread across the water. "Luna, run!" Ethan shouted. But the fishermen surrounded the dolphin from every side. Luna became trapped again. The frightened dolphin cried loudly as the net tightened around her body. Ethan's heart pounded. "Stop! You're hurting her!" he yelled. Carl laughed cruelly. "She's worth money, Ethan." Without hesitation, Ethan jumped into the freezing Atlantic Ocean. The icy water shocked his body, but he swam hard toward Luna. Carl's crew shouted angrily, "Get back!" But Ethan ignored them. Using his knife, he cut through the heavy ropes while Luna struggled beside him. A giant wave slammed against the boats. Thunder rumbled across the sky. The weather was changing fast. Dark storm clouds rolled overhead. "We need to leave," one fisherman shouted. But Carl refused. "Not without the dolphin." Suddenly, powerful winds roared across the ocean. Huge waves crashed against the boats. The storm had arrived. Carl's men panicked. Lightning flashed across the dark sky. Ethan finally cut Luna free. "Go!" he shouted. Luna disappeared beneath the water just as another massive wave crashed into the boats. Carl lost control of his vessel. The sea became violent. Ethan barely managed to climb back onto his own boat. Rain poured heavily as thunder shook the ocean. "This is bad," Ethan whispered nervously. The storm was far stronger than anything he had seen before. Towering waves lifted his small fishing boat high into the air. The compass stopped working. The engine sputtered. Then, suddenly, crack! A giant wave smashed against the side of the boat, damaging the motor completely. The engine died. Ethan's boat drifted helplessly in the middle of the furious Atlantic Ocean. The shoreline had vanished behind thick rain and darkness. For the first time in years, Ethan felt truly afraid. "Please," he whispered quietly, "help me." Hours passed. The storm showed no mercy. Cold winds howled across the sea. Ethan held tightly onto the steering wheel as waves crashed around him. Then, through the darkness, splash! A familiar sound echoed beside the boat. Ethan looked over the edge. "Luna?" The dolphin appeared beside him. Then another dolphin appeared. And another. A whole pod of dolphins surrounded the boat. Luna clicked loudly and swam ahead. It was almost as if she wanted Ethan to follow. "But the engine's dead," Ethan said hopelessly. Then something incredible happened. The dolphins began pushing against the sides of the boat. Slowly, carefully, they guided the drifting boat through the raging storm. Ethan stared in amazement. "You're helping me." Wave after wave crashed around them, but the dolphins never left. Luna stayed closest to the boat the entire time. For hours, the dolphins guided Ethan through the dangerous waters. Finally, far in the distance, Ethan saw a faint light. The lighthouse. The shore. Tears filled Ethan's eyes. "We made it." As the storm slowly calmed, the dolphins guided the boat safely into shallow water near the harbor. People from the town rushed toward the shore in shock. "Ethan's alive. We thought he was lost at sea." Ethan stepped onto the dock, exhausted and soaked from the storm. Then, everyone noticed the dolphins swimming near the harbor, especially Luna. The dolphin leaped high into the air one final time before swimming back into the ocean with her pod. The townspeople stood silently in amazement. Even Carl lowered his head in shame. Ethan smiled softly toward the sea. "Thank you, my friend," he whispered. From that day forward, the fishermen of the town treated the ocean and its animals with greater respect. And every once in a while, when Ethan sailed into the Atlantic at sunrise, A silver dolphin could still be seen swimming beside his boat.